My center stage sister pushed me to have a fad diet all my life because she was gluten-free, so I made her eat gluten food, and the doctor revealed something devastating. So my sister and I don't have a great relationship. Throughout my life, my sister has pushed all kinds of fad diets, self-help flavored fads, and even sent me to conversion therapy via the troubled teen industry. She's never apologized for any of it despite me telling her how much it all messed me up. I still haven't mustered up the guts to make any contact because she is still close to our dad, who I generally like. Recently, I moved to a new place in a really nice area because I just got a great new job. Suddenly, my sister really wants to come and visit and see me. I do my best to make excuses, but she pushes so hard that eventually, I cave. Since moving in, I've been doing a lot of cooking because I finally have a nice, big kitchen all to myself. I love weird food and finding ways to get protein without meat. One of the things I've had fun making is ladao. It might not be strange to some people, but to my sheltered American self, it was funky as hell, and I love the idea of it. So I started making it from scratch and discovered that I love it. My sister and dad got here yesterday afternoon, settled in, and we started talking about dinner. As usual, my sister had to pick the place after looking at online menus for a couple of hours to make sure they fit with her dietary requirements. She finally picked a vegan restaurant across town but then decided she was too tired to go out. So, Dad and I agreed to pick it up while she rested. Driving across the city took a while, which I warned her about. An hour later, we got back with a vegan, gluten-free food she wanted. She's not vegan, but she's adamantly gluten-free and has been for a few years. When we got inside, I noticed the Pyrex Snapware container of ladao that was in my fridge was now empty in my sink. She even dumped out the sauce I'd been soaking it in. I asked if she'd eaten something from my fridge while we were gone, and she said that, yes, she had eaten some chicken because she was feeling lightheaded. But it was terrible, and she was so ready for some real food. Here's where I might be the jerk. Instead of telling her what she'd eaten, I just rolled my eyes and served dinner for everyone. She kept remarking about how bad the chicken was and how relieved she was to eat something substantial. My dad kept trying to change the subject, but she kept bringing it up. I finally snapped when she brought it up again first thing this morning when I was picking them up from their hotel. I asked them where they wanted to go for breakfast, and my sister joked about not wanting me to cook breakfast because she didn't want more oily chicken. I finally said, that was homemade ladao, and I don't understand why you ate all of it if you hated it so much. She asked what ladao is, so I explained it's just vital wheat gluten and water, steamed and soaked in sauce. Her face dropped, and within 30 minutes, her stomach was in pain, she was having trouble breathing, and she needed to go to the ER. The whole time we were there, she kept telling the nurses and doctors how I'd fed her gluten without warning her, and now the trip was ruined. Mind you, this is the hospital where I work. My dad pulled me aside to say he was disappointed that I hadn't spoken up last night, how what I'd done not only hurt my sister's feelings but also put her health at risk. He asked me to go home and think about my actions and give my sister some space. Now I'm sitting here feeling like a jerk and anxious about work next week. I'm torn because I don't think it's my fault that she ate my food without talking to me first, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't omit the information because I was pissed at her. Update. 6 hours later, just got home. After everything this morning, I went back to the hospital to check on them. My sister was sleeping, so I talked to my dad and the doctor a bit. My dad still thought I should apologize. I said I would when she woke up. When I talked to the doctor, I asked about testing for the specific immunoglobulin present in celiac disease, and she said she actually hadn't needed to because apparently, my sister had that test done in the past with her PCP. The doctor told me she'd reviewed my sister's results, which showed her TTG-IgA was low enough to indicate she does not have celiac disease. The doctor offered to refer her for a biopsy, which is standard for celiac confirmation, but my sister had declined. Apparently, the nurse had given her lorazepam, which she said was for stomach pain and nausea but implied it was more for her anxiety. The medicine she kept talking about was some kind of holistic thing. The nurse, who happens to be Chinese, loves ladao, and we actually became friends over it. When I got my sister and dad back to the hotel, my sister was still out of it and kept accusing me of poisoning her. I just apologized, not offering any excuses. I got a bit emotional when I told my dad it was probably best they head home. He agreed. After everything, I'm convinced my sister was faking for attention. But my dad will always support her no matter what. I'm never having them over again.